Get on with it, come on.
My name's Ellis, I was on The Apprentice this year.
So someone stole my AirPods and I was tracking him. The worst part was I could see they connected to my phone. I could see this fucker going on holiday. He went to Nepal. He was in the Himalayan mountains in this village, yeah, and I'm looking at my phone going, bastard. Like, and he's got my, and at one point they even split off, like left and right, so he's sharing my AirPods with some random guy in this little village in Nepal. And I'm sharing this on my story going, I should go and get him back.
We flew 4,000 miles around the globe to track down the thief that stole my AirPods.
So her boyfriend was there, and she was there, and they were like, right, kiss his girlfriend. I was like, I'm so sorry about this. And then I'd snog his bird, and I turned around, I'm like, again, I just want to reiterate that.
What you going on about?
Literally, I thought, this is going to be amazing, it's going to be exciting. Got involved in it, and I went in there like, I'm going to be a businessman. I know I can prove. I just want to prove I want to be a businessman, and that was my aim, to do really well. I sort of treat it like an interview process. Like even in the clips of me in the boardroom, I'll be sat like I'm in an interview, like trying to look professional, which is quite sad really. I wish I got in there knowing it was more of an entertainment show. Yeah, so you are kept apart, ruthlessly so. You're told that you're not allowed to mix and mingle with the girls, the guys are kept separate. However, I'm from an era where when you tell me not to do something, I'm gonna do it just to fuck with you. So that's what I did, yeah. You would think that I was a fucking suspected terrorist. It went from The Apprentice to what's the SAS Who Wins? Yeah. If you've got an anonymous account, you are a bellend, like, I'm sorry. You are a bellend. I'll say it now. Like you probably. I hope to God this is a clip because you're fucking gimp.
Right, so today we're joined by a very special guest. The Multipliers boys have travelled from South London up to Manchester to meet the famous Ellis. Welcome to the podcast.
Imagine going all this way, yeah, and this is what you mean.
It's the final boss. We've met worse. So
how far was it?
We've met worse.
Sorry.
How far was it? How many hours?
About 4 hours. No, about 5 because there was terrible traffic.
That's not. Oh yeah, you're lying now. A minute ago it was 4. It was fucking 4. We're supposed to start an hour ago.
We're supposed to tell them about
So we started an hour and a half ago. We've been sat here for an hour. Long
Long time.
3 beers in, 4 beers
Feeling
in.
a bit tipsy. First ever drunk Multipliers podcast.
That should be the trailer.
Well done. That's what you're going to be known for now.
Yeah, away days. We're here for away days. Currently
Where are
trying
we based today?
Manchester in some in Gay Village.
Big up the Gay Village,
so,
by
Big
the
up the sauna.
Firstly, Lewis, tell us who you are and what is the sauna?
Yeah, my name's Lewis, and we're right next to. I used to work in Manchester, right across the road from this, but there's a sauna which is predominantly for gay males, and from what I've been told, everyone gets their dick
One
wet.
of your friends told you.
Yeah, from that time I was drunk on that night out, is everyone gets their dick wet. So it'd be really interesting I've told these guys that they're very good looking lads, so I reckon that they're gonna have a great night because we're literally in the heart of it right now.
We are in the heart.
There's
flags outside the window of the gay pride, flags all over.
There's 2 people in the alleyway right now. I don't know if
There's 6 men in there's 6 men in a 4-bedroom townhouse.
Yeah, so
Lewis don't know why he's here yet.
I was gonna say,
You see these cameras?
I've
They're not here for
I've
effect.
seen shows start like this, and I don't
How
quite
they
like
end.
how they end.
Anyway, moving on swiftly.
So yeah, talking about TV shows, I know you've been on a couple of them. You appeared on The Apprentice. You've also appeared on, what was the other show where you...
Great Sex Experiment.
Tell us about that.
Which one?
Forget the business
Yeah.
apprentice show.
Let's
This
just go
isn't a
straight for
business
the-
podcast or anything.
Let's just go straight for the shit one. Okay. No, that was interesting. So basically, I got a phone call, rang, and they said, "Do you want to get involved? It's a dating show." And I was like, "Okay." At the time, I was single. It was summer, and I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "We got a mansion." They sold it to me like this. It was like loads of good-looking girls, mansion, hot summer vibes, and I was like, "I'm in. Yeah, I'm in." I get there, and like everyone's got a. It's like, yeah, there are good-looking girls, but everyone's got a husband. I was like, what exactly is my role in this sitch? And they were like, oh, you're supposed to take out the wives of the husbands. And I was like, I'm going to die. But it turns out it wasn't that bad. Yeah, so that's kind of the vibe. It was really fun, really interesting. I only did it because I like to do weird sort of things, especially in business. Like, when was last time you saw a businessman on a sex show? Like, it doesn't happen, right? I didn't do anything that interesting. I snogged some absolute rotten, yeah.
What was the point of the show? You're taking
I
out the
got
wives.
herpes now. And I haven't.
No regrets.
What was the point of the show? You're taking out the wife.
Yeah, it's basically the way it works is they come into the show and you know what it is. He's basically
Luke's
I had to do my market
research.
research in it because I thought I knew Lewis was coming on. So
yeah. He's been researching what the sex show was all about.
I'm pretty sure that's when your Pornhub wasn't working, so you had to watch the show, right?
Get the game away. That sounds like I was wanking over Lewis.
That would explain so much now.
He didn't remember us, that's right.
It was basically just like, yeah, couples would come on there and they want to go on dates and they pick people from the singles. I was in the singles side, and then they would go on dates with them. That was the way it worked. And then the idea was they're supposed to see, can they be in an open relationship? Yeah.
What was it called?
The Great Sex Experiment.
Could they be in an open relationship? Like, what was the finished article?
No, most of them were just like polyamorous. Like, they would have multiple girlfriends or boyfriends, or they would like sleep with other people anyway. So it wasn't a big deal for them. For me, it was very fucking awkward. Like, I can't remember much of it, but I remember this one day I'm sat there and they're like, "Oh, you have to pick a guy you're gonna kiss in front of your boyfriend." And I was like, "We're gonna do what now?" And I'm in the single side, and so she goes, "I'll kiss him," and that was me. And then I had to sit on a couch. Her boyfriend was there, and she was there, and they were like, "Right, kiss his girlfriend." I was like, "I'm so sorry about this." And then I had to snog his bird, and I turned around, I'm like, again, I just want to reiterate that.
Did that get aired?
So sorry about this. And he was just like, "It's fine." It was very awkward for everyone involved. It's funny, but awkward.
I've got a question. So obviously, I'm guessing we'll come on to The Apprentice in a second. So you was on The Apprentice. At the time, I'm guessing then there's certain people in public, you'll get noticed, you'll get recognised. Did you also have that from the Channel 4 the sex show? Where people are like, "I recognise you from the TV."
Yeah, from
Wait,
I didn't even know about
You've
The
been
Apprentice.
DMing me ever since.
What, were you on The Apprentice?
Just stop sending dick pics on Instagram. That's all I'm asking.
There's definitely people that did recognise you. The question is, did they ever say to you
No.
that I recognise you from that show or not?
Weirdly, right. So obviously, people would message on Instagram because it's a bit of an odd show. If you watch it, a lot of people that watch it are swingers. By the way, they are genuinely
Always.
and they're up for that sort of thing, or they're interested in that sort. So they'll message on the sly. It happens on LinkedIn more often than I'd like to. I care to admit. Never in public. Never really run up to me in public. But like LinkedIn, I'll get like 60-year-old Jeffrey going, "Ha ha ha ha, have sex with my wife." You know what I mean? And I'm like, Jeffrey, it's not a laughing matter. But on LinkedIn, you wouldn't expect it. So
Well, funny you say that. I actually read in an article the other day that the #1 sliding in the DMs platform now is not Instagram or Facebook. It's LinkedIn.
Really?
Right? Which is crazy.
Going off the money, innit?
and that's more or less just me.
That's smart.
You started that trend.
Those stats are just me DM. I'm joking, sorry.
Someone did actually message him on LinkedIn for a nude this week, right?
They
We'll
did,
come on
but
to
it
that,
was a
but-
genuine. It was
Yeah, was
genuine.
it?
It was like no one masturbated. It's a weird statement in it. That should be the trailer. Just no one masturbated, and then a really sullen.
They want to find out. What it's
I look
about.
sad about it actually. But yeah, so it was an odd experience. I did it because I wanted to just do something different. It was fun. It was summer. Nothing else to do anyway.
And to clarify, was this after The Apprentice?
Yeah. So it was like I got asked to do all sorts. I got asked to get involved in that Married at First Sight show. I got asked to get involved in some like ex-dating show, just like random crap. And I was like, no, because I'm interested in business. But it was like a couple of years later, The Apprentice had died off, and I was like, I'm bored actually this summer, and I'm like, nothing else to do. Why not? Like,
Was you bored, or was you potentially looking for that sort of high again of being on TV?
I don't think it's a high. I'm not. Do you know what? This is something that I found out about myself. I always thought I wanted to be on a TV show, which is kind of why I wanted to apply to The Apprentice. I'm like, I reckon I could do this really well. I'd enjoy it. And actually, when I did it, I was like, it's actually quite boring. Like, I met a lot of people following it, and their thing is TV shows, like being a celebrity and being an influencer, and mate, it's just dead. Like, it's just.
What was it like when you come off the show?
Oh, that was
Straight
funny.
after.
That's so fucking funny. Like, weird. People would run over the road and shout at you, or like come and chase you down pictures. People freak out when they meet you. This doesn't sound real, right? But like it's like exactly what I'd expect an actual fucking Hollywood actor to go through. Like, people would scream your name and start crying and shit like that. It was so weird. People would walk over to you and just start arguing about something that happened on TV. Bear in mind, we filmed it in the winter, and this was summer. We filmed it in the summer and it was winter. So I'd filmed it like 4 months ago. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And people come over and just like start like, that girl's a bitch, mate. I fucking hate her.
What was that like to
So
actually
weird.
process and go through? Like, did you enjoy the limelight, or was it a bit
just
weird
odd.
for you?
It wasn't even like enjoy, hate, nothing. It was just odd, really odd. I was on the underground in London. Some guys going, Lewis, and I turn around and everyone on the train goes. It's just like 4 or 5 people spin around. I'm like, that was weird. And I'm like, and then I turn around this way and they shout my name again. It was just odd. I was in Piccadilly Station, a group of girls like Lewis, and I turned around and they all started screaming, and I was like, that is so weird. I was like, if you're gonna get the hots for a guy, like out of all the guys to choose from, there's way better looking. Like, you would go for a sexy guy, not me. Like, imagine that's my sort of thoughts on it. I was like, it's a weird situation.
How come you end up applying for it in the first place?
So I said a minute ago, like I always wanted to like try and do a reality show. I always thought it'd be really fun, like a game show sort of vibe. And then I sort of like let that sort of idea go. I wanted to do a holiday rep show. That's where the idea came from originally. And then started a business. I've always wanted a business since I was 21 years old. I went and studied it, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I know it's what I'm going to do. I met some successful people. This is what I want to be. And yeah, I found that I thought to myself, maybe I found the application was that they were hiring. I thought maybe that will be my opportunity to see, can I be a businessman? Because I don't know if you guys remember what it's like, but when you first try and start a business, you think there's some secret, there's some like skill that they need to have, or an entrepreneur is a certain type of person. So for me, I thought maybe it would be a good way to work out if I am that person. Turns out it's not. Being an entrepreneur just means being able to deal with constant shit being thrown at you, and then
24/7
and then just not crying publicly that often.
What was you doing at the time when you applied for the show?
So I was working at an agency in Manchester, and I was also freelancing in the evening. So basically 9 till 5, I go to work. 5 till 1 in the morning, I work on my own clients, and I've been doing that for like 2 years. Weirdly, we said about podcasts before. I spent a full year interviewing entrepreneurs who were doing what I wanted to do. So I find people who had an agency, and I would sit them down like this, not quite the setup, but I would have cameras, and I'd record the conversations. And that was kind of me trying to learn. This is before people talked about podcasts.
Deliberately?
No, it was an excuse. I would say to them, if I do this, you get content. And then it gave me an excuse to meet them.
Yeah, so did you consciously think, actually, this is a good idea for me to do that? Or was it just part of what you were doing?
I was doing it, and I was doing it not knowing that I was going to share it, but I was doing it because I thought if I say that I'm going to make a video, they'll want it for their marketing content. So I can get in the room with them, whereas previously they wouldn't care. But I knew I wanted to learn from them. So basically someone said to me, if you want to do something, go and find someone who does it. With the interview stuff, I mean, they're still on by the way, if you get really bored, go on YouTube and check it out. They're like from 2015, 16. There's me going around with a little camera going, how'd you start a business? And this is while I was studying business, because I really wanted to do it. I just didn't know how. So the Apprentice to me was an opportunity to go, actually, maybe I am that guy. I've been trying long enough. I've read all the books. I've heard those people speak. I've gone to those events. I've interviewed those people. Maybe it's now. Maybe it's time. Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about The Apprentice then. What year did you go on The Apprentice, and what was your overall experience doing it? What was it like?
Yeah, I went on in 2019 now. So it's like 4.5 years ago.
Same year as
COVID.
Karina Lepore.
Yeah, she won. Do you know
She
her?
did win. Yeah, we
That
do
was
know
one
Karina.
of your clients, wasn't it?
We done a project with Karina a little while ago. Yeah, a couple of years back.
A Dough Bakehouse. for that
Dough
one.
Bakehouse,
yeah.
that's it, yeah. So she's got a couple locations now. She's done really well from it, to be fair. But yeah, tell us a little bit about what it was like actually being on The Apprentice. Like, you must have been very nervous.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was more excited about it because it was like something I used to watch. Like, it's like getting a ticket to your favorite thing, right? Like fucking golden tickets to the Wonka factory, and then it turns out to be the golden tickets to the Wanker factory. I could not put the wanker joke in there because it was so fit. Yeah, but yeah, it's literally I thought this is going to be amazing. It's going to be exciting. I got involved in it, and I went in there like, I'm going to be a businessman. I know I can prove. I just want to prove I want to be a businessman, and that was my aim, to do really well. I sort of treat it like an interview process. Like even in the clips of me in the boardroom, I'll be sat like I'm in an interview, like trying to look professional, which is quite sad really. I wish I got in there knowing it was more of an entertainment show, more like it was going to be fun, more just being myself. Like I very rarely let myself just be myself, if that makes sense. I treat it like a real interview. I believed that this was an opportunity to become a business person, but it wasn't. It was just it was a good way to get the word out about what I was trying to do. And when you go somewhere really public, or you do something really public like this, and you say to the world, I'm going to do this thing, you kind of have to, because if you don't, everyone's going to think you're a cunt. So
That's the strongest word we've ever had in 31 episodes.
it's true though.
Lizzie's gonna have to beep.
Yeah. I said a weirdo. No,
Why
but
do
like
you think they chose you to go on?
I think I got chose. I know why I got chose. So I think I'd done the freelancing stuff. I was doing well with the agency, setting up my agency. Like that's what I wanted to do at the time. I think they chose me because I literally lost my shit with the producers. So I didn't know, and when I was younger, I'm 33 now, I was 28 then. I was very quick to flip. So like someone could poke me and I would just go rah, straight in the face. And they were literally, they were just like, you're not a businessman. What the fuck makes you think you're a businessman? Like, and they stood there. So him and this is a producer and then like an advisor, it was just a random guy. And during this interview stages, they're going like, you don't know what you're talking about. You might have studied business. You worked in an agency. You don't know fuck all about it. I'm like, And I was like, who the fuck is you? I just went mad. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are?
I wanted to see that reaction.
Well, I was just like, fuck this. I don't want to be part of this shit anymore. My head had seen red. And I was like, don't fucking speak to me. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I've been working my ass off ever since I was 21 because I wanted to do this. Blah, blah. How dare you? So I basically started shouting at this guy and then stormed out of the interview room, sat outside, and I stropped like a proper teenager. And then what's really funny, I remember about it's really funny, is it's done in rounds. So when I storm out, there's all these other people waiting to go in. And I've just gone, rah, 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 boom, walked out and gone. And then sat down next to them, and they're all like, looking at me like terrified. They're all like, I'm like, don't go in there. And it was funny because I remember just seeing how scared their faces were because to hear someone roaring. And yeah, and then they were like, thank you very much for your time today, Lewis. We're going to say goodbye now. I was like, good, I'm going to stab someone. And I went home, and then they were like, we'd love to have you back. So I think they would
stand out from the crowd.
Well, it wasn't even on purpose.
You didn't, yeah, I was going to say, you didn't actually do that for
No, I was just really offended by being told that I wasn't meant to be that.
Well, that's what they done it for.
Do you think?
Yeah. But now I think back, and they fully just manipulated me to see what will happen if we poke this bear, and they did exactly what they wanted me to do. But I didn't know that at the time.
Do you think if you could give your older self before going on the show now advice, do you think you'd have the potential to go on and win it by not fitting the, like you said, just trying to come across professional in the boardroom and stuff like that, and being yourself, being a bit more disruptive as you are now in business? Do you think you'd go on to win it?
I think it's, I don't think you really get to choose who wins. I don't know how well you do. I think they will just choose who they want to win because it is heavily edited. They have the power to make you look like you've won, you've lost, you've messed up, you're stuttering. They can do that in the show. They keep the figures hidden a secret, so you don't know if you've actually won or lost. They just go, you guys took the most money. Oh, but we had 40 refunds. Like, you know what I mean? They could just so it's very not real life in that sense. So I don't know if being better at what I'm doing now would have helped. I do think if I'd gone in there with my agency and not a travel company, because really I've been working in marketing for like 6 years at that point. I've been freelancing for 2. If I said I want to start an agency, which I have done, and this is what I want to do, I feel like that would have been a strong sell. But I actually went, I want to start a travel company. I like planes. So they're going, he's fucking daydreaming. And even I was daydreaming. Like, you obviously involved travel.
Different, yeah.
Yes, I'm in that space. I mean, I was a holiday rep, and I've run holiday tours before, and I've been on the ground, but never sold a holiday. I still can't, for the life of me, after 4 years, figure out how to sell a fucking holiday properly. So it is really complicated. And but at the time, I was just like, even now though, I don't know if you guys are the same. If I want to do something, I just go and do it, and then I figure it out. So back then I was like, yeah, this is my skill, but I'm just going to do this. And everyone's like, you're an idiot. But I think if I went on there with my agency, I might have had a much stronger chance again.
So do you think the reason they'd manipulate the show is probably based off of the business idea at the start? Because obviously you have to present a business idea, business pitch. Do you think they actually probably somewhat decide on the business that they think ultimately is going to be most successful because he's obviously a partner? Or do you think it's much more to do with actually the TV, the entertainment and that side of things? I
think it's a mix of both. So I think they will have, okay, this is quite a solid business plan. This could be a business. Most of the ones that did well right to the end have been trading for a couple of years. We got figures. Like when I wanted to start a business, I hadn't started an agency at this point either. I thought you just have to have a really good idea and someone will invest and then you grow a business. That's not how it works. You got to grow the business, see if it fucking works. Can you make money? Can you survive? Can you grind? And then we'll invest. So the ones that were at that stage, much more strong and solid. So I would say to go in there after a few years of business and then go for it, you might be with a good shot. And I think entertainment plays a big part as well. They want funny.
You know the bit like that when you get to the actual interview stages, right? And you have to present the business plan. Did you have to go with a business plan already? Like
well, yes.
So when you go in before the first episode, you have to present it. Because sometimes obviously they pick apart the business planner in Marketeer, and you think, why didn't you go and see a professional and get that done properly? But how do they do this? So is there rules to that? Or?
Right at the beginning, you apply, you give me your business plan.
Oh, right at the start, so you don't know you're going to be selected.
That's a lie. No, so not right at the beginning. When you do application form to just go for an interview, you don't have a business plan. But before you get on the show, you have to have handed it in. Yeah. And I know that because I went on there saying I want to start a marketing company. And then when they said, what would you do with 250 grand? I was like, well, I'd start a travel company. And they were like, well, you're fucking damaged. And I was like, I was like, well, no, because I can do the digital company agency without investment, which I have. But for a travel company, in my head, I needed money to do it.
Yeah,
and so actually, I did a business plan for a travel company based on that. And I got a professional to help me write it. Genuinely, a guy that writes business plans. But they just...
Because they scrutinise them a lot, don't they? On the show. They're the favourite clips. And actually, I didn't put 2 and 2 together until we listened. We done a bit of background research on you. and heard that. So it was you on that pod. Was it?
You saw the globe?
Mike? Yeah, the globe.
Yeah.
And I remember that. I
I
watched
won't forget that.
What was the
I
scene?
watched The
Just explain the
Apprentice
scene
every
to
year,
us.
so it was funny.
We should do it to him.
Because I remember
Remember what's up?
exactly.
We
So
should
explain,
have done it to you because you're in travel and see if he could do it.
Yeah.
So explain it.
Is
What
there
was
a
the
globe?
scene?
I remember your answer
there a
so
globe?
clearly. No,
What was the scene?
Basically,
They do a
he
globe,
pulls
yeah.
out a globe. Have you got a globe in here? I'd love to do it
Just
to
tell me
him
you got a
because you're
globe.
in travel, so it'd be a good point to.
My geography's terrible. My sales is great.
Right, you can sell a whole. Right, so basically, he pulls out a globe and he went, "So you want to take people to Croatia for your first trip?" I was like, "Yeah, this is the cost I've worked out." And he was like, pointing out on a globe, and I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Because he's like, you should know where you're taking people." I was like, "But I just booked the flights to fucking
the airport.
This
to
geezer not heard of the
Reykjavik,
internet,
and
like-
the hotels, but I don't need to know what the fucking country shape is." But they were just like, no, so I couldn't do it. Well, I was like I was close, by the way. It was near Greece, but it was.
It's funny that I fully remember.
But you got all the way to
But
interview
everyone's
stages.
watching it going, yeah, you should know where it is on a globe if you're going to be selling trips. No. When you go on holiday to
my
Magaluf, do
geography's
you fucking
terrible.
check it on a map first? Or do you just book a flight and go?
So you got all the way to the interview stages, though.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the when you went out?
Which is what he's talking about there.
Oh, that's sick, though, that
That's
you
what I
got
was.
all the way
What's
to
his name?
that.
Mike? Is it Mike?
Yeah.
How far's that into the show?
This is
Like
the end.
That's literally like
Finals,
the
isn't it?
last.
At the end.
Yeah. So it's
Right.
like
So you
there's-
pretty much made the final.
Episode before, semi-final.
there's
basically.
final 5 and then there's the final 2.
You did that's sick, man, to get all the way.
And
to
then
the
with
final.
that,
I'm glad I do you know what? I said it right back then. I've actually accepted anything less. Like I went in there going, right, I don't think I'm going to win because my business plan isn't formulated really. I'm just hoping we're going to get somewhere. But realistically, I was like, I won't go. I want final 5. I want interviews.
How many weeks did it take you to get there?
It's like 12, isn't it? 11.
Oh, so there's like 12 people to
I
get.
think it's like
evicted
11
before you-
episodes up to the final 5
That's-
and
that's
something like
good.
that. Or 10.
And that's literally like 9 weeks, isn't it? And the maddest thing is that you haven't got a phone or nothing, right? You can't
Yeah.
talk to anyone.
So you're actually out of action.
Did your friends think
and
you're
why
in
you see
prison?
11 episodes, not 11 weeks. Huh?
Did your friends and family think you're in prison? That's what I hear a lot. Where
Um,
because you have to disappear and not tell people.
Yeah,
right?
so I remember it was really funny. I was in the gym and I was training quite heavy at the time, and I was like, "Oh, I've applied for the Apprentice," and they're like, "Haha, good luck, mate." And I was like, "How funny it would be?" Because I was like, when you get through, you can't tell anyone. I was like, if I go missing, you'll know where I am. And then like I go missing, yeah. And then I come back. So this is like I think it was like February, March at the time, and so I went missing to like June. So you see 11 episodes, but it's more like 13, 14 weeks. So I've gone missing for like 3 months. I come back and I'm like, "Hi," and I can't tell anyone. Like, "Where you been?" I was like, "Nowhere." And they're going, "Remember that time you said?" I'm like, "Yeah, yep. If you went missing, yep. You'd be on the Apprentice." Nah, I don't remember. And it's like it's really awkward.
Yeah.
So they knew, but I couldn't say anything. And then I had
It's
to.
hard keeping it to yourself as well for like.
I wish I
6
just
months.
fucking told me. I didn't care.
So it didn't matter in the end,
Yeah.
really. So
No
Who
one
are they
gives a
going to
shit.
tell?
Yeah, but no one cares. Well, everyone turns out.
it's already filmed. They're not going to just edit Lewis out of it. Or
The one thing that happens is everyone that you tell immediately wants to put money on the Apprentice because they want to bet on it. They're like, that's how dodgy everyone is. You tell them you're in the Apprentice, they go, "Oh, who won? Why? I'm going to put a fucking bet on it." It's like, we can't bet on it.
You don't know. You don't even know who wins, do you?
No, we don't.
No, even they don't know apparently until literally.
You know,
just
way
You
more.
don't know who wins.
Yeah, you knows loads about it.
I like The Apprentice.
He's done his research.
Yeah.
No,
No, but
but-
like The Apprentice, they don't tell you.
Yeah, it's true.
I think Karina told us it. They don't tell, even though when she told her that she won, they filmed 2 scenes of them telling both of them that they won,
Yeah.
and then at the
you've
end,
been fired, it's fine.
so it's
Do you boys want another beer?
I want a piss.
I really want to piss. Can we have a piss break?
Did
okay,
you
cool.
kiss Lord Sugar? No,
Yeah,
I
put
kiss
that
someone
in.
else.
Would you kiss Lord Sugar?
For the right
No, but look,
price.
250 grand. Why
there,
not?
look.
Oh no, wait. I hope we smell.
Let me see.
Is that before?
So basically, Lord Sugar messaged. You know, you got tattoos, right? You've all got tattoos.
Yeah.
Lord Sugar was watching the show and he messaged like on Twitter going, "Look at the state of Lewis." Bear in mind, I'm a young guy. I was 28, and I was like, "Did a billionaire just slate me on Twitter like, about my body?" I was like, "Did I just get body shamed by a billionaire?" And my mum was like, "I think you did." So he basically was like, "Oh, look at state of Lewis covered in tattoos. It looks like shit, basically." And I was like, "Well, that was quite rough." So I took a picture of my tattoos and I was like, "Oh, don't let anyone feel like they have the right to tell you how you should look or feel." He then retweets me. Yeah, bear in mind, I didn't tweet at him, nothing. He just sees me tweet. This billionaire guy, bear in mind, it's a billionaire, a guy who has no reason to be threatened, retweets me and goes, "I've got the right to an opinion. Your kids are going to be well embarrassed of you when you get older." I was
that's
like,
deep.
why is Lord Sugar actually fucking with me right now? Like, it was really, and to be fair, I think I'm joking now, but back then I was really sad because I looked up to him because you always do when you're younger and you look up to like your senior business leaders. You're like, "Oh, one day." I just didn't expect him to be a bellend.
I
You
could
decided
imagine as
to get a
well.
tattoo of him
So
on your
out of
arm.
principle, yeah.
Let
When
me
I was
see.
doing the
Fair
sleeve,
play.
I mean, it looks.
No way.
Yeah, but I lost the battle and the war. Because
That's
it's
your
on my
war
right
word.
arm as well. Yeah, so we look each other in the eyes sometimes.
I can imagine because it was.
At the
You should
most,
send it to him.
at the
That's
most-
what he thinks.
at the most inopportune moments, yeah. So sometimes
okay,
me and him
cool.
lock eyes, and I'm right-handed, so it's just not a great.
What would you say overall it was like dealing with Lord Sugar when you were actually on the show?
You don't
Is
get
he like
speak
that in
but
real
you didn't
life?
get to speak to him. So I was just looking at him like he's this really cool, serious businessman. He made billions. He came from nothing. I came from nothing. Maybe I can be like him one day. So to me, he was like an idol. So when your idol calls you a cunt on Twitter, you kind of go, "Wow, that was rough."
Yeah,
It's like I would liken it to getting slapped in the face by Will Smith as Chris Rock.
To be fair, we had
Rock.
Joseph Valente on a podcast a couple of days ago, and he said when he won The Apprentice, he had a couple of drinks on Christmas Day, and he sent Lord Sugar an email just saying thank you so much, I won't let you down. And then Lord Sugar, New Year's Day, or the day after New Year's Day, is in the office. He's like, Joseph, sit down. Never send me a fucking email like that ever again. Not even looking him in the
you
eye.
know what, though?
And Joseph was just like, I was just trying to be thankful, mate. You know, it doesn't sound like a very nice.
He sounds
guy.
ruthless. He sounds like
ruthless.
But it's not roof. It's just been a bellend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Because you can be a successful person, but you got to realize when you get to a certain level, if you've made it and you're doing really well, and you're from a poor area, like I'm from a very poor family. Like if you're from that space and you've managed to make it, people will look up to you.
Yeah.
And I believe it's your responsibility to try and help them and to send down the elevator. And so I thought that's kind of how he was because he was on The Apprentice, right? He wants to invest in businesses. He's not though. He's just an asshole. It's
So-
really sad though because it shouldn't be like that.
How does it work with like you and other like cast members? Like you kept apart,
What do you mean?
like during the
Oh, you're about
the
that shag.
filming?
Yeah. I told him a story. Yeah, so you are kept apart, ruthlessly so. You were told that you're not allowed to mix and mingle with the girls. The guys are kept separate. However, I'm from an era where when you tell me not to do something, I'm gonna do it just to fuck with you. So that's what I did. Yeah. So I basically, the story goes that rumor has it, or allegedly, I snuck out my hotel room.
Wait. You stay in hotels. You don't stay in the actual mansion houses.
Yeah, no. So when we was abroad in Croatia. Sorry, no. Where was we? Finland. We was abroad.
Croatia. Do you know where that is on the map, by the way?
Can you show us?
Do you know it? Isn't it?
You've got a compass on your arm, innit? It's
He's
like,
got a
which
shot,
direction is it?
yeah, and that's how awkward is that? Like, it's like pointing on a map, and I'm like, what? Fuck? I use I don't use globes. I've got a map. got a map on my
I
arm.
think it's near Vegas.
Ish said that. No, but yeah. So you were kept separate, but when you go work on a task abroad, we was in Finland. By the way, every task that came up where you got to travel, I just tried to be on the side that got to travel. You know, like so I'd be like South Africa, I'm our project manager. Finland, I think I should go on the advertising side. So I just wanted free holidays. But we're abroad, and when you stay abroad, they lock your hotel room and take the hotel key off you. You can't go out. If you go out, you can't get
Is that
back in.
legal?
I
So
don't
Lord Sugar
think
kidnaps
so.
you.
But
You probably signed it on
yeah,
somewhere in your
we had no
contract.
rights. So yeah, so they take the keys off you, and you can't get out of the room. I was like, oh, my mum used to do this to me when I was a kid. So I sellotape the door and made it so that the door wouldn't, you closed it just stayed open, right? It's really easy. You just put the thing on the lock and when you close it slides open. So I did this fucking Mission Impossible thing, sneaking down the corridor, rolling from room to room. Like they were walking around like security. It was very much like how. Have you watched Metal Gear Solid? Have you played Metal Gear Solid as a kid? It was basically like that in real life. And I was like sneaking down this corridor. And my aim was to shag the girl downstairs. That was the plan.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Because she said at dinner, she was like, you should come to my room. And I was like, I fucking will. Like, and she was like, dare. I was like, no, don't dare me. Bear in mind, after a while, you get really bored in the house. There's nothing else to do than flirt. So, yeah. So that was my aim to get down there. And so we ended up like shagging each other. And I snuck back into the
How did you get into her room if she couldn't?
I was not.
I think, am I right
It
in
was
saying
locked,
that
no,
made
they
the
weren't
headlines?
locked.
I went, hi. She went, hi. But it was really random how it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, because that made the news article as well. I'm sure
Yeah,
I
so it
remember
made the
reading
news
something
because.
about
Do you know what was even weird about all this is that so she said, right, so she's a bit of a strange girl. I never spoke about this, by the way. It's quite interesting. And I'll talk about it 4 years later because it's over. But at the time, I never did. But so she didn't tell, I didn't tell anyone, right? Because I was like, keep it secret. If you sleep with people on the show, you can get kicked off. It literally says it in the rules. You will be kicked off this show. And I didn't want to get kicked off. And I'm upstairs, and Tom Skinner comes running up and goes, Lewis, mate.
Oh, was you on his
Oh,
year?
that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
No
it.
way.
He runs up and goes, Lewis, you're not going to fucking believe this, but...
Bosh.
He went, Bosh, but he went, she's downstairs telling everyone you shagged her. And I was like, no. Yeah, because I'm like, I'm going to get kicked off the show now.
Yeah,
So
so
who
told
was it?
not to say nothing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what she's doing.
So I went downstairs. And I went, why are you going around telling people that something happened? We told it's supposed to be a secret. She was like, but this is the fucked up thing. She was like, I ain't told anyone. And I was like, But like Tom literally just came and told me, and I'm like, in my head, I'm doing the fucking maths going, if I didn't tell anyone, but she didn't tell anyone, how the fuck did Tom know? Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm feeling like
in the corner
in my head,
watching?
basically what's happening is I'm being gaslit to fuck, and then I'm going, did I tell someone? Do you know what I mean? I start questioning myself, and then so I believed her. I'm like, okay, she didn't tell anyone. I was like, Tom, how do you know? He was like, Lewis, mate, she was downstairs like telling everyone about it. And I was like, this is weird, because why would she lie? It turns out she was just fucking gaslighting the shit out of me. And yeah, that was it. We got found out. We got separated. It was very serious. It was treated. You would think that I was a fucking suspected terrorist. Like the way I got dragged into separate rooms, we got interrogated separately. Like,
You come clean.
It went from The Apprentice to what's the SAS Who Dares Wins?
Yeah.
So fucking
Bag
fast.
over your head.
So yeah, I was like, oh no, I didn't do anything. But yeah, listen, that serious. Like it was like they were like, did you rape her? I'm like, no. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm positive. Like it was stuff.
It's really.
That's so extreme.
I'm being pedantic, but it was kind of like that serious though. Yeah. And I was like, am I in trouble? I'm like, waiting for the police to turn up, and they were like, no, it's fine. And then she's fine with it. She said it was okay. I was
Karen
like,
Brady,
she said it was consensual. I was like, so what? Did everyone just assume that I raped a member of staff? A cast even. It was just really weird how they treated it like that.
So that made the papers, did it?
Well, yeah, because
What was the headline?
Rumor got out. Rumor.
This was after the show, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, there was like rumor someone slept with someone. I'll say it though. Like I know that every year someone's supposed to have done something. Someone might have slept with someone, but like I went out of my way to do it. Like I'm Mission Impossible. I swear to God, a lot. I kept the door open. I snuck through this hotel on my hands and knees. Went down the elevator, crawled across her landing, knocked on her door, snuck in, snuck out. So like there was a lot of effort involved. I just can't see anyone else making that effort. Like, I reckon all the other stuff is just rumors because it was pure effort. Like I just like to break the rules, and I never spoke about it though. And yeah, we got in trouble for it as well, which is what I was saying to you before.
So that's not the first time you've made the headlines. Because before I met you, I remember seeing you. I'm sure it was front page of the Sun, the
So
Star,
weird.
like every newspaper.
I know it's what it says.
And tell us about the story.
It was about Syria.
When you went on a night out, tell
Yeah.
us the story.
So do you know what, right? A few years ago, I realized that I had this superpower. And the superpower is I can just do the weirdest stuff and people will just buy into it. And this is kind of what I harness for marketing and stuff now. So I'll give you an example. I not even buy into it. People find it interesting. So like I decided I was going to be the very first person to swim in the Trafford Centre. It's a shopping mall. I went there with goggles and a life jacket on. My friends were there and we all filmed it. We had a great laugh. Ha ha ha. It was funny for us. The next day it's in the papers. Weirdest things happened in Trafford Centre. And like this year, like a decade later, it's like the top 3 weirdest things that ever happened. Man goes swimming. And I was like, so my mum's obviously quite sad about this. She's like, my kids will fuck up. And then a couple of years later, I'm working abroad and we're with my mates and we were like, hey, wouldn't it be funny? Because at this time, in the way we were working in Ayia Napa, people would say, oh, we're very close to Syria. Like,
I remember when I went there thinking, oh shit, Syria's over there.
yeah.
That's when there's a war.
So guests would come out and go, oh, there's a war in Syria. Like, it's not safe. It's fucking miles away. It's the equivalent of like here to Germany. But on the map, that's in the map, by the way, see?
On a globe.
You couldn't point it out.
On a globe, which I check every week. Yeah, so it looks close. So we were like, wouldn't it be funny if we just told our guests that we got stuck in Syria? We got on the wrong boat party. And we quickly had like a chat like this. Everyone's drunk, really fucked up. And we're like, let's say, someone goes, let's say we're dolphin watching. Dolphin watching, great, yeah. Where would we go? We went from the beach. We went from the pier, dolphin watching, cool. We lost Wi-Fi. Weird, but we'll use it. So like that's kind of how it went. And then next thing you know, we've got this story, and then we're like, right now, everyone hide. This is, boys are so childish. We were like, everyone hide for at least 12 hours. So that's what we did. We just went right. We went to the shop, got loads of booze, like crates of beer. Went to this apartment, and we were so fucked up at the time that hiding sounded normal. And so we just drank for like 12 hours and hid in this apartment. And then we told people we were in Syria. We were picked up by Russians. We sort of drip fed like a joke to our friends. And little did we know that people who were in our friendship group are little snitches. And they had friends who were in the newspapers and all Lad Bible and all sorts of stuff. And so it started to spread, but it spread really fast. So within the first few hours of us joking around, and we took some pictures like at the beach, like this, looking like we were lost, like. It was so dopey. Like if you look at him, it's obviously not. And because it was such a good story, like Brits get drunk, wake up in war zone, picked up by Russians on a dolphin watching tour. It was so ridiculous. The papers couldn't resist but do it. And like, just to like make us look like dickheads. And yeah, it was. We went to sleep, drunk, woke up, and as far as everyone was concerned, we were in Syria. We had reporters in Ayia Napa looking for us. We had press. We had my mum was going mental.
Did your mum know you was not?
No, because we was asleep at the time. It was all really going off. It was on the front page. It was like front page newspapers, on TV in the UK, like everything.
I remember seeing it. We were talking about it the other day, and I was like, I remember this fucking story. It's in Lab Bible. I think that's where I read it.
So it was like really big, and I remember going, "Oh, this was a bad idea."
Was this before or after like The Apprentice?
This is ages before.
Oh, before.
Yeah, so the point is, like, I've always had these like silly ideas, and what I thought was fun, and I would just play with it, and I like making content, I like filming stuff, and I like editing things, and that was just an example of harnessing. I mean, I was studying marketing at the time when it happened. I remember just like thinking, I wonder how we can harness this press. Let's see how far.
Was there
we can take it.
intention to actually get in the papers? Was that
No, it was originally a joke between friends, and then when the press started showing interest and we'd heard the press were writing about it, we said, let's just fuck with them. Let's see how far they'll take it. Because right now, at that point, there's a lot of fake news going on, and they would report on anything. They would try and make everyone look bad, especially like in party resorts. So we went, let's just give it a proper. It was like dolphin watching on a boat. Russians picked us up. We're in a military base in Syria, a war zone. Like, it was just like.
Are you watching this as well happen?
No, like, so we would like feed this. We'd drip feed the news out and let the journalists pick it up, and then you could just imagine how like it was like, oh, this is the best story ever. We need to write it really fast, and they were so excited about it. They made themselves look like bellends. And then the next day, obviously, the next story was how 3 idiots made everyone else looked like idiots. It was like,
so you came out and said it was a joke.
Yeah, because I mean, after a while, your mum threatening to fly out. Like, but what sounds like a silly thing at the time, and everyone's like, "What a fucking moron!" Like, he's an idiot. And like, not just me. I mean, I was a ringleader, but there was other guys involved. But like, they're idiots. They're stupid. It's twats from the UK. Well, really, I just wanted to see how far you could push it, and how can you use the press? Like, can you get PR'd? And when I think about it now, 8-9 years later, actually, what I was doing then was what I do now, which was just trying to make noise, like working out, what would the press be interested in? What would the journalists be interested in? Well, let's make content. Do you know what I mean? And I was just harnessing it the wrong way. Then it was just like a prank. Now it's actually like I do it for clients, for brands to generate awareness.
Paid to do it.
And now my mum is so annoyed because imagining thinking your son's a fuck up, and then being so angry, ringing him, are you in Syria? No. Well, you're a fucking idiot anyway. Like, so all these years of being angry about it, and then like 10 years later, your fucking son is getting paid for it. And then people are encouraging the behavior. She's just like, what is this? It's like fucked up. But I'm proud of you, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's confusing for her because she's like, I thought he was just a retard, but clearly.
I guess for her back in the day, you were growing up doing fucked up shit and she felt like, oh my God, my son. But now you've actually monetized from it. So
yeah, I harnessed that for something positive.
Yeah, and your whole business model now is disruptive marketing. Yeah. So for the viewers listening, what is disruptive marketing?
Basically, I would say it's doing everything outside of the norm. So I call that everything up to the point of disruption functional. So like, you need a good website, you need good social media content, you need regular social content, you need a good PPC strategy, SEO, all that sort of stuff. It's all functional marketing. That's what we all learn, right? And then people think that when you get everything really nice and it's all balanced, that's it. It's not, because actually at that point you go, right, now what? What else? It's the what else when people call me. So they go, we've got all this stuff, we've got a marketing team, but they can't think of anything. We've got social content, but it's not really exciting. We want to get press. We want to make a story. People ring me when they go, like, what can we do? And I think that, to me, that's what the disruptive side is. A lot of it is harnessing low budget, being scrappy, getting press, doing guerrilla marketing. I always say, people ring me up and the conversation's always like, fucking tanks, chimpanzees, machine guns, like strippers. Do you know, it's always stupid ass conversations because they start like this and then they come down to earth. But it's the fun stuff, it's the sexy side of marketing. And a big part of what we do in that space obviously translates nicely to like advertising in general. So a lot of the time we'll do something in real life, we'll film it, and then that becomes an advert as well. So we're sort of making moves into advertising more and this experiential stuff. I actually see my company becoming more of a media company, so not just a marketing agency, more of a content creation and like lots of fun stuff, but also we make adverts, we do this, that and the other.
What's the craziest campaign that you've done?
It's not even that crazy. Do you know what's mad? What is crazy is that it doesn't have to be that crazy because everyone else is fucking boring. Like, I'm not joking.
It's not crazy to you, but it's crazy probably to other people.
For our clients, like 9 times out of 10, the idea doesn't even have to be that crazy because everyone else in their space is just dead. It's like, how do they get up in the work? So you got a marketing person, they get paid a lot of money, they get out of bed in the morning, they go to work, and then they come up with that shit, and they sit there and go to their family and kids and go, I'm so proud of this. Have you watched TV recently? I'll give you an example. You watch TV. Have you, like, normal TV, terrestrial TV, and you see the adverts that come on in between?
Yeah.
Have you seen how fucking shit they are?
Oh, they're terrible.
Right? And they cost like 150 grand, 100 grand, 80 grand here. And not just the spot alone is like 20, 30 grand. And then to make it's like 20, 30. Dog shit. And someone's really proud of that somewhere in the world. And that's what we're competing against. That boring level. Like, I can't even explain it this year. Like, a lot of people think it's really disruptive to just fly drones around and make a pretty picture. And everyone's like, wow, it's amazing. There was like a Chinese New Year dragon recently in London. Did you see it with the drones? No. It might be in Dubai. But the point is, like, they look at it, they go, that's so creative. It's not creative. It's fucking boring. Like, it's just, oh, we can use drones. How can we use these drones? Let's make a dragon. It's new. You know, that's the extent of the creativity. Then, realistically, it's not hard. So a lot of our clients, they're not even that sexy because we don't have to be. We just do something a little bit different.
By chance, you haven't worked with Air Landline, have you?
No, but my friend is the guy who ran the advert she's talking about.
Oh, really?
Who I've also collaborated with on something.
What goes on those adverts?
Similar to like what you're...
You don't know I know him, do you?
No, I didn't know that. No. Literally by chance, because I said it literally to my team the other day. I said, and I was trying to find it. I said, watch these adverts. I said, I'm not trying to replicate that ourselves, but I said they're good because they're rememberable.
So
it's like...
My friend owns that company that did those ads, and he's in my little networking group, and we've met loads. We've collaborated. I have a tattoo on my ass now because of him, which we tried to do some funny content. No one cared about it. It's not always winners. So now I've got a tattoo on my ass of a client's name, and no one knows about it. I don't care.
It's not a client anymore.
So basically, what a shit idea that was, by the way. He knows who he is. But yeah, he did those ads, and that what they do there is a perfect example. So they've looked at the industry and gone, really boring. Let's get funny guys to do the adverts. Yeah. Be a bit silly.
Yeah,
What's the advert?
They do different ones in it, but there's like this ginger guy. He's quite quirky. Like this one where it starts where she's not in shot, but there's a woman doing this, but she's actually like, it seems like she's pumping up like a bike, but it looks like she's sorting him right out. And that type of thing.
I've seen that.
Sorting him right out.
And it's also, but I'm a customer. To be fair,
me too.
I
bought a number because of that.
Yeah, so basically they sell. I don't even know what I pay for. To be fair, I paid them every month because their ads are good.
You've got a landline number.
Yeah, I've got a landline number and it comes to my mobile number.
He's a marketer's dream. He's like, I bought it, no fucking idea what it is.
The advert was great. So
the ads are good and I pay like 15 quid a month or something.
Sounds like hand jobs.
So what were a couple of things that you have done with clients? Sorry.
So yeah, one of the very first ones that I'm most proud of. So client's American, based in Raleigh, North Carolina. They go, hey, we've heard of you. I'm like, how?
That sex show probably.
No, he was like, I've been wanking over you on TV. No, basically what happened was, it's even weirder story how he knows about me. So basically some guy in the American Navy is like really high up. It sounds like it's going down the wanking. It's not a wanking.
He was in a sauna
and
Syria.
In Gay Village.
Everyone's dicks and everyone's mouths.
It was Iron Apple though, I swear.
And yeah, this is my standard. So I'm going to take you there later.
I don't know how this conversation's actually led back so many times.
I know, yeah. Can we stop talking about dicks for 5 seconds, please? I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, so some guy in the Navy had seen an advert we did and he connected with this guy. Anyway, long story short is, they went, we're going to Middle East. Can you do an advert with us? And I was like, yeah, amazing. And it's actually a really nice one. It was a cancer awareness campaign. They were trying to raise awareness of people who are losing their lives to glioblastoma, which is a brain tumor. And they were sick of the fact that doctors always refer to them as statistics and numbers, like, oh, we had 1,000 people died, 10,000 people died, whatever. When you talk about numbers all the time, you become desensitized. So doctors will talk about these kids dying, but like it was like talking about how many Snickers they were going to eat for dinner. Like, so we took away the numbers and we started showing their faces. It was called Faces, Not Numbers. Shock. And we actually got 60 kids from a local university, put them on a bus, drove them around Dubai, put masks on their faces, holding up signs. It was like a mini protest sort of thing. And why it was disruptive is because, first off, protests are very illegal in Dubai. I found out this. We spent the entire day running from the Dubai police. My first time there as well. So, I mean, I've not heard great things.
And last time.
Yeah, no, I've been back since. Never got caught, bitches. No. But so it was disruptive in the sense that you're not supposed to do it. It's not a done thing. We were working with local students. People just started joining the campaign because they were like, oh, I really believe in this cause, what you guys do. I want to get involved. And so we just become actors in the advert. And it was a really nice advert. It was really cool, really powerful. Raised a lot of money. So that was my first one. I was like, shit, that was fun. But then I've done other stuff as well. My concepts, myself. Funnily enough, the Middle East is my other favorite thing that I've done. I turned so someone stole my AirPods, and I turned it into content. I basically went, right, how can I turn this into a fun situation for the content? And I was tracking him. The worst part was I could see the connector to my phone. I could see this fucker going on holiday. He went to Nepal. He was in the Himalayan mountains in this village, yeah. And I'm looking at my phone going, bastard. Like, and he's got my... And at one point, they even split off, like left and right. So he's sharing my AirPods with some random guy in this little village in Nepal. And I'm sharing this on my story going, I should go and get him back. People start joking like, mate, I dare you to fly over there and get him. Because I can see where they are in the world. And it's a small village in Nepal. I've just never climbed the Himalayan mountains, but I feel like I could figure it out. Yeah, that's how he went. And then the joke was there, and people were talking about it. And then he'd flown back to Qatar. And I was like, fuck, it's like 8-hour flight, direct there. I reckon I can get him before he leaves. And I said to a guy with a camera, I was like, you in? He was like, yeah. So I booked 2 flights, booked a hotel there, booked a car. And the next day we flew to Qatar, jumped in the car, drove to these houses. And we get there, and we thought it would be a lot easier than it was, but there was like 4 apartment blocks. The problem with AirPods, if you track them, it shows you where on a map it is. Yeah.
Fuck.
So I had to go from floor to floor, door to door, trying to connect my Bluetooth, trying to find these AirPods, which, by the way, 5 months earlier had been stolen. So it's been 5 months. No way. I fucking find the apartment. I find the house. My AirPods connect to my phone. I still can't find the AirPods. I'm in the apartment going, which one of you bitches stole my AirPods? And everyone's like, why is this fucking English guy in our house? It was very awkward. And I basically said to him, like, if you give them back, then I won't show where you live, I won't show who you are, I won't tell who you work for, and I'll just take my AirPods and go. I'll just use my video. But if you don't give them back, I will show everyone the video. I'll show them where you live. I'll show them your faces, and you'll get deported. And obviously, they didn't want to lose their jobs, so I got my AirPods back. No way. But I flew 4,500 miles, 9 hours travel in total on flights, plus car hire, searching for 2 days. Knocked on some random guy's door at night time in the Middle East, in the Bronx in the Middle East as well. It's not a nice area. I mean, give my fucking AirPods back.
What did this geezer say? Did you tell him you travelled all the way from the UK?
He's shit his pants. You would though, wouldn't
He
you?
must have thought you were nuts.
Imagine someone.
he must have thought, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like me. And the best part was, if you watch the video about this other guy from the hotel called Kareem, who was the hotel receptionist. We're telling him the story, and he's like, this is fucking sick. He's like,
He's
this is sick.
loving
He's like, so sick. I need to get involved. I want to get involved. I want to help. I was like, you can, mate. Join. So he finishes work, comes with us. So you've got me, Kareem, and a camera guy, lights, and knock on this door. And then like the guys answering, like, hello. And this is all of us. It's odd.
Sounds like catfish or something.
It was genuinely, and he's like, shit. But I think the biggest fear for them, and the reason I got them back, is because they thought they would get deported if I showed their faces. But they would have got in trouble for stealing. It's really serious there. Yeah, but 5 months. So after 5 months watching my AirPods travel,
where did you lose
I'm so
them?
proud. I can't believe I got the fuckers back. They're in my car. Like, they're in the car now.
Did that video go viral?
It did. No, it did. It was in all these newspapers. I was on all these radio stations talking about it. It was like, loads of people shared it. Loads of people were like, dude, just get a new pair of AirPods. Obviously missing the point of the story. Yeah.
Where did you lose them? That's what I've been.
So what happened was, I was on the plane flying with Qatar Airways, and it changes over in Qatar. So I was flying from Dubai to Manchester. It changed in Qatar. They clean the plane and they carry on. In this case, I was on the same plane, in the same seat. I just had to get off and come back on. As I got off, I left him on the seat, and as soon as you step off the plane, you can't go back on. So when I stepped off the plane, I got a notification saying, you've left your AirPods. I went to the door and I went, I've left my AirPods in the seat. They were right in front. I was like half asleep. I was like, can I just grab them? They went, no, you can't, but we're going to go and get them for you, and we're going to bring them to you. Go and wait at this lost and found desk. So I was like, okay, sweet. I got a 3-hour turnaround. I went and sat at the desk. After an hour, I was like, it's a bit sus this. Like, I was like, they're just there. Do you mind just telling someone to grab them for me? And they were like, yeah, we'll get some. They go, come back. No, they can't find them. I was like, I don't know. It was kind of just there. And then they're like, no, we can't find them. I was like, but I don't know. You know, like, you just like fucking find them. And then as I'm talking to them, I was like, I'll show you. And I open my phone and I'm watching my AirPods, like, literally leave the airport in a taxi. I was like, fucking bastard. So obviously, to me, they were stolen. I did leave them on the plane, but technically they were stolen because I'd forgotten. I knew I'd forgotten them.
I wonder if it's the same guy, because sometimes, you know, like somebody could pick them up and then pass them to someone. Yeah, might have even been him.
He was airport staff.
Second hand or something.
He was airport
handling
staff.
stolen goods.
He was airport staff.
I was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I think that they just happens all the time, and I think they just sell them between each other.
Yeah, of course.
So you know, with that, when you were getting interviewed, were you saying that obviously it was a market employee? Is that what you were talking about on the? Well,
this is the thing, isn't this? Is the clever bit about it all. Like, so no, they all saw it as this absolute spanner. Spent $3 grand getting his AirPods that were worth 300 quid. That's the story they wanted to tell. But really, if you actually watch the video, at the beginning of it, I say, like, this has happened. I've been tracking this story, and obviously at the time I'm launching a marketing company. I'm like, I bet I can make like an Apple advert out of this. Like, how can I showcase how strong Apple's products are? Okay, I'll use an Apple iPhone, I'll use an Apple Mac, and I'll track down my Apple AirPods using the Apple feature, Find My. That's quite a good bit of content, right? They've never done it before, first time ever. And so to me, it was actually like, how can I turn this into a bit of content that a marketing company might use? And so then advertise how we think. But the story was very much, this guy's an idiot, man.
Was this after The Apprentice?
Oh, this is like last year.
So when your videos go viral, right, obviously you probably get a lot of comments, etc. So I'm sure you get, because I remember seeing a video of you when you woke up in Syria. I was like, this guy's a fucking...
You weren't in Syria.
Like,
Yeah, but that's, most people are like, this guy's a fucking moron.
Yeah, on the flip side, with all of those comments, you must have been reading it, especially when Lord Sugar tweeted you. Like, how did that make you feel?
Do you know what, right? For a long time, I used to get really annoyed about this because, like, I'm doing things on purpose. I'm not doing it because these things don't accidentally happen. Every couple of years, I do something ridiculous. Like, a lot of them are a forethought, or I planned it, or I want to do something different, and therefore I've done X. So for a long time, I was really annoyed when people would be like, he's an idiot, right? And I'd be like, really defensive. Now you can call me what you want. I don't give a fuck. Like, you can hate me or you can love me. I don't care either way, because no matter what happens, as long as you're invested in what we're doing, we can build this. I can build my business. As long as people are looking in our direction at what we're up to, or they don't know what's going to come next, or it's like you know, we read the book. It's like a bit of a mystery, and people are intrigued. Some people might hate it, some people might love it, but it doesn't matter. As long as you're paying attention to what we're doing, I can build a business off the back of that.
No press is bad press, as they say.
Right, because I'm in an industry which is very saturated. I can't compete in marketing budget for advertising. We were speaking about before. I can't compete with the SEO guy who's doing SEO every 5 minutes. I mean, even content wise, I'm so busy. I haven't got a team big enough to be able to do content every day. So, like, what can I do? Well, I can do creative, very unique, weird, and wonderful things that stand out and occasionally get your attention. Sometimes they don't do well. I get a tattoo on my ass and no one notices. Sometimes they do really well, and hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people will see it, and they'll go, oh, I remember that thing. Like you said, I remember that thing. And that's all I need. I just need a few of those. Remember that thing. You're the guy that did the thing.
We actually remember each other. Like, obviously, you were talking about The Apprentice. Yeah. I knew about the Syria thing.
I remember the Syria thing so clearly, man. Like, so clearly. But I find it a weird one. Like, we haven't... I went viral once on TikTok, and...
What did you do?
We actually just done a really simple conversation about what's the average salary in the UK.
Okay.
And I think it worked. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was what's the average amount of savings in the UK.
Yeah.
And basically, like, it got loads and loads of comments basically saying these guys don't know what the averages are. They can't do maths. And then this one prick commented saying that guy's got the most grating voice in humanity. And I don't know what one it was directed to. It might have been me, but I remember reading that and I was really...
But you all took it as it was you.
It was definitely him.
We did it.
Well, I was really angry, and I started watching back all my videos. I was like, my voice ain't that great and it's not that bad, blah, blah, blah. But they really got in my fucking head, and I've trained myself now. I don't really give as much of a fuck. But it is quite hard to deal with when you're new to the limelight, especially. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I can see what he was saying as well, like...
With the
He's thinking, shut up.
I'm joking.
A lot of people say they like it. Some people say they hate it. You can't.
But do you know what? Like, this is the thing, right? I think no matter what happens, people are always going to try and throw shade, right? Genuinely. Is, yeah. Like, I'll give you an example. So, I've got a client, we manage his social, so obviously we post stuff for him. It looks like it's him, but it's not. He's doing stuff like speaking to really motivational people and like helping kids and like doing charity work. He'd be doing charity work and someone would be like, look at me, Mr. Virtue Signaling, trying to make everyone think I'm good. It's like, no, it's just doing charity work. Like, and he reads it and he gets really upset about it. And I'm like, fuck him, because the person that's saying that has never once in their life tried to help anyone else. Like, some people are just sad as fuck. Like, it's a scary fucking thought that they're even allowed to drive. Do you know what I mean?
I also think, like, how the fuck do people have time to even comment on someone else's video?
Imagine going around in your life, and you're lashing out at people. And I can see why you would. I can see how easy it is. Imagine that you've never pushed yourself, never tried to do anything, never got told that you can do what you want. You've just done the same thing for a long time, and you're stuck in this routine, and you see someone doing what you want to do, or living a life that's different, and you're like, why should he have a different life? Why should she have a different life? I want that. And then they'll lash out and they'll take it out on them and they'll hide behind anonymous accounts. If you've got an anonymous account, you are a bellend. Like, I'm sorry. You are
strange.
You are a bellend. I'll say it now. Like, I hope to God this is a clip because you're a fucking gimp. But it's true, and it's sad. But you got to pity those people. Genuinely have to pity them.
Well, someone else commented on a video of ours saying, "Why do random people think they can just start a podcast?" And I actually wrote out a message. I didn't send it. And I thought, every person who has an elite podcast once started as a random podcast. If you look at Joe Rogan's stuff when he first started, he's got a woolly hat in a cold garage, terrible. Stephen Bartley didn't get any views for 4 years, and I just read comments like this. I'm like, you lot have got no fucking clue where to even start with how to build something.
No.
You know, and you just got to kind of just let them do that thing, because if you got time to comment on someone else's shit, you're a fucking loser. That's what I'm going to say.
I think it comes from so when you start doing something different, you threaten someone else's peace. They think, why should they get to be different? Like, I want to be different. And so they'll start lashing out and they'll start saying stuff negative, right? But actually, those people that do things differently and then stay consistent, after a while, they go through all the negative comments. After a while, people find them that actually like them, and then they start to build this way bigger following of people that like them. You might find in your podcast, you get a couple of negative comments, but look how many likes you get compared to the comments. The ones that like you are never really as vocal as the negative ones, and all we hear is a negative. And actually, all you got to do is ignore those. I mean, I've been ignoring dickheads for the last at least 8 years. Like, saying something negative online is not going to worry me or bother me. I'm going to continue what I'm doing, and eventually you're going to have to deal with that.
That gives you the engagement anyways.
Yeah.
Like, negative comments is actually what gets you out there.
Please be negative.
Some people start giving
slag me right off.
Some people actually start backing it for you on the comments, sorry, and then that's what creates makes it go viral a lot of the time.
And I feel like also controversy massively sells. Like, we have quite a few controversial views, but we don't really ever talk about them. Right, we've tried a couple of times, and it's always kind of got deaded off after.
We have nitty, but that's the valid point. Like you just mentioned, both Joe Rogan and Stephen Bartley, and obviously something about like you're inspired by them. You're mentioning it in a powerful way. How many times have you commented on their posts
with positivity? Just be honest.
I bet you
probably never.
On my anonymous account, loads of times.
No, as in like in general. No.
Yeah, in general.
I bet you like it.
Yeah, but the point being is you mention them because you obviously like them, you inspire them, you think
like
they're
their
doing really well.
Oh yeah, massively. I'm connected.
But you've never
commented. Do you like them? Like the post?
I like their pods. I'm subscribed.
But you don't comment.
Right?
No, exactly.
You wouldn't.
That's the
even though you
point
really
being.
like them. Yeah.
So it's only these negative people that comment, and you think, oh fuck, I only get negative comments.
But you see that.
All the positive people that are now mentioning it on their own podcast, we're not the type that really go commenting too much, really. But maybe we should. Maybe that's the point.
What's any like memorable negative comments that you've received?
Nothing, to be honest. I'll have that. I should keep track of it.
Gone viral a few times, so I'm thinking there must be a few things.
The common themes are always like, he's arrogant, which is mental when you think about it, because arrogant means that you think you're better than other people, when actually most people are here, I started in here like with no money, knowing I'm better than no one, but I'm going to outwork everyone. So to me, saying arrogant, at first I used to take it to the heart, and I realized that it's just pure bollocks, because I don't think I'm better than anyone. In fact, I go out of my way to help other people, try and bring them to my level wherever I'm in life. So that's bollocks.
Pause the podcast there to give a massive shout out to our sponsor, the Manifestation app by Robert Hiacy, the UK's #1 unconscious mind therapist. Now, this app is an absolute must for anyone that's looking for further success in their life. It covers a whole range of things from meditations, calm stories, unconscious mind therapy, journaling, mood tracking, affirmations, the list goes on. It's an incredible app. It's got an incredible community within the app that you can connect with other like-minded people. And we actually have a code, TMC Manifest, for 25% off of your first month. So go check it out. It's on the App Store, the Manifestation app. Back to the podcast.
That was actually it. I thought that was it.
I swear, yeah, I pressed play.
That was good.
I was like, oh fuck, I pressed that video.
That was good, mate. That was good.
It's in the history.
Demon's like a boy's voice. I thought I'd press the video.
I'm recording this in the back of a taxi somewhere in Delhi, having been in Calcutta this morning, the Himalayas yesterday, and I'm flying to Bangalore tonight. So it's life on the road at the moment, as I'm just putting a big project together in India for some ground-based solar. Anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that I was very touched by the impetus behind your email. It's not that often that you see a lot of people who, think good thoughts but rarely take good action, and it's just based on that alone that I know you've got all of the character traits you need to basically move forward. My experience is that once the mind and heart are aligned, that the universe conspires in your favor. But that takes a firm level of decision, not hesitation or uncertainty, and you certainly have that. With regards to mentoring or mentees,
I asked this to be a mentor.
There's a lot of successful people. You'd be very surprised. Would be very willing and open, in my experience, if you call them up and say, hey, listen, I'm a young kid, I'm looking to start a business, I think you're successful, would you mind if I took you for coffee, or picked your brain, or came at the end of a work day with a notepad and just asked you some questions? That's how I started. And yeah, a lot of people, if they've got the right attitude, that want to teach anyway, would be happy to share that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link to download my straight talk on business, which I think
I like we can get like a little taxi in India, like beep, beep.
And yeah, that's about as much as I can give you at this point in the back of a taxi. Anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to write. It's hearing messages like this that keep me doing what I do. I have every confidence in your ability to go and be successful. I can certainly recommend a couple of things for you to focus on.
I'm going to cut it off because it's a little bit long. It's
Yeah,
like,
I love
I've got hair
that,
standing
though.
up, just listen to it, because it is actually mad motivational.
That's
do you know what I mean?
lovely.
Like,
Who
you're
was
in
the
a tough
guy?
time going.
yeah. So I'm at 20,
Who is he? Sorry.
So like I'm 22 years old. Yeah, I'm watching. I want to be a businessman. I'm studying business. And I just don't know how to start a business. I'm the guy watching TV, and this guy's called Peter Sage. It's called Peter Sage, right? He's on TV, and it turns out this guy's like a multi-millionaire. He's just doing this ground-based solar in India, and I'm watching the TV, and I'm like, how hard can it be to be someone like this? Like, I just love to ask this guy a question. I'm not even being cheesy now. Genuinely, that's what I was thinking. And then randomly at the end of the show, it comes up on the screen like, if you got any questions, email petersage@happytohelp.com. And I was like, and I just wrote this fuck off email. I mean, I can find the email and show you, but I tell these stories to kids because basically the question a lot of young people always have is, how do you get started? And the one thing that like I learned way back then was, if you want to know how to do something, you find someone that's doing it, you ask the question, you speak to them, you ask them for advice, and then like the next step is they'll recommend someone, or they'll recommend a book, or they'll tell you the next step. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. None of you guys in this room here would, if you have any question in your business, you just need to find someone who's already doing it, and they will tell you the next step, because someone's already been through it before us. We're not fucking Einsteins or coming up with like, I don't know, Teslas or whatever the fuck they are. Like we're doing things that people have done before. So you find people and ask the question. So he sent me that advice. And I went out and interviewed entrepreneurs around Manchester for a full year after that and filmed it. And then I learned what I needed to know about starting an agency. So I took his advice, and I talked about this before on LinkedIn, and he'd heard about it, he'd seen it. And he comes back 7 years later and he's like, fucking hell, mate, I didn't actually expect you to listen to me. Like, well done. I'm amazed at where you've come from. We should catch up. And it's been a few more years since then. And my life's been going like this and this and this. But none of that would have happened. Honest to God, none of that would have happened without the one person telling me it was possible and that they have been there before. And that's why I think it's important to speak to people, not because you've made it, not because you're already there, because you're going through it. And someone, you never know who you're going to cross paths with, who the day that you speak to them is the day that they change their life. That makes sense. And that's what happened to me. That's why I feel obliged.
He probably just thought it was it. Like, he probably didn't actually think anything of it. Do you know what I mean?
Starts a random kid.
Yeah, like, you literally, but he actually, that meant so much to you. And that probably happens a lot in life, where you say something to someone, it could be bad or good, and they hold on to that for a long time.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
So like, I remember getting really upset and like emotional. I'm not emotional anymore. But like back then I was like, I'd cry when I played it, because you got to remember, I'm from a very poor family. My mum has never achieved kind of anything in business or anything like that. The focus in a working class family is you work, you get a job, you deal with this shit. Someone's always going to be richer than you. That's the way life is. And I was like, well, I don't think that's going to be how my life's going to be. So this one person that I've never met in my entire life telling me that it is going to be okay, you can do it. I know it sounds really cheesy. I used to get upset about it. I used to play it, remind myself, like that was my motivation. I play that to kids now at university. I'm like, look, I tell them what to do. I go, this is what I did. Here's some fucker telling me what to do, because I asked the question. I went for coffee with them, and here's videos of me interviewing people because I listened to what he told me and I did it. Like I'm not making it up. I've done this. I got told this, and it's worked for me. So why wouldn't it work for you? And so it's really important that, even though you're not a millionaire or multimillionaire or whatever, like you're going through the struggles regularly, you're getting these lessons and learnings. It's more important now than ever for you to share those stories with young people, because you don't know if they would start on the journey without that. Do you know what I mean? Like they might never take that step. I fucking would have given up, guaranteed, if that one fucking person hadn't come back to me.
I think it's interesting growing up in working class backgrounds. You grow up with a lot of limiting beliefs, people telling you can't do something, not because they don't believe you can't do it, just because they believe they can't do it.
It's just not the done thing.
They reflect their negativity on you, right? Whereas you never really get negativity from anyone ever doing better than you. If you notice that, like if someone's doing really, really well, they won't put you down. It's usually the people who aren't doing that well, right?
Just why I slag him off, because he's doing better than me.
I don't know about that. You've been in the game a bit longer than me.
All right, I'm old. I get it. Highlight that. What a low dig that was.
You're not old, man. You're not old.
No,
just experience.
You are 100% though.
Yeah,
it's true. And I don't know if you've ever been there. Like, I was writing a response to a comment the other day, and I was like, this guy's a dick. Like, he's scamming people and stuff. And I'm writing this post, and I'm realizing how negative it is. And I'm like, I read this thing, and it said, like, if it's not going to affect you in 5 to 10 years, like, then don't worry about it. Fuck it. And now all these things I used to get stressed about, I'm like, I don't care. Because it's not going to impact my life. And so you realize that actually the small things, the negative things, they're not good for your success and your growth. But you're right. No one will ever say anything negative to you unless they're doing worse than you. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I've never thought about it like that, to be fair, but it's
so true.
Like, why would someone?
And I never take it personally. I know if anyone ever tries to portray negativity on me, it's not personal on me, it's personal for them. Because they haven't been able to make it happen, and that's okay. What was it like growing up in a working class background? Did you grow up with a lot of limiting beliefs? Did you feel that you wouldn't be able to amount to what you are now?
Do you know what? I didn't even know I was in a poor family. I didn't know. You don't know. I don't know if any of you guys are in this situation. If you're rich kids, by the way, I hate you because your life's way better than mine. But
I
think we're all from working class.
I didn't even know I was poor.
Working class.
I honestly didn't even know I was poor, really, until I was like 20, 21. I went to work abroad, 18. But I was in ski resorts at 20, 21. And then I knew I was poor. Because I'm in Switzerland, and these fucking kids are turning up in Maseratis with like Russian model wives, and I'm like, oh, okay, how did he get the nice vroom vroom? And it turns out they're finance directors or business owners, entrepreneurs. That was kind of the key thing. And I realized actually I am actually not from a rich environment, and I'm not being ignorant saying that. Like, it's just everyone around me was poor, so it's not really a big eye opener for me. A couple of our mates were rich, but it was like one-offs. When actually, you step away from that, you realize the world's way bigger than you perceive it to be. The circles are way bigger than your hometowns where you're born and brought up in. Like, it's way bigger than that. You start to look at the world, you go, actually, it's my community that's poor, and I'm from that background. So I never really noticed it. Didn't really impact me. I didn't really struggle. Like, my mum struggled a lot. I remember crying a lot at Christmas, like pawning her jewelry and stuff like that to get through Christmas. But it's normal. Why would it be weird to me? Like, it's what everyone does.
It's normal. It was normal for you and for us, but we didn't grow up with social media.
Yeah.
Social media came in, I think I was in year 8. But now you've got kids who are 6 or 7 with iPads on Instagram, and they're seeing little Jimmy, who's in the same school, he's getting like a quad bike for Christmas, and they might be getting Skittles. And I feel like that creates a lot of negativity in today's youth.
Happy Pride Month from Canal Street, Manchester.
Kind of.
Like an authentic on the journey, the ups and the downs, and we have helped people individually off the podcast 100%.
Definitely.
These boys have everyone. We've all mentored people, and I think mentorship for me is most important, to have someone that's just probably a step ahead of you, 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. And so for us, that's what we look for in a mentor. We're not looking for, of course, you have to accept it, but you're not going out for the billionaires to mentor you when you're at this level.
Just to add, sorry, Joe, to interrupt, but to bring that back to people who we've helped through the podcast. I mean, we took a kid to a marketing event a couple of weeks ago who found our podcast when we done the episode about how to scale a marketing agency. He was working in Tesco at the time. We met Jake for some lunch.
Oh, you took him?
Yeah, we took him to the
Charlie,
guy. And honestly, the kid has quit his job. He started an agency. We helped him sign his first client when we were with him. Yeah. And literally just hearing that means the world to me.
Do you know what,
we never started this pod for money. It actually costs money. But
we
just
lose money every month.
That might not be his business, right? That might not be his thing. But what you have done there is you've taught someone that they can do something.
Yeah.
They can leave a job. Because the thing is, it's the job thing, right? I didn't even start my business until I lost my job because of COVID. Because I was terrified, like, because it's a big step. And then you realize once you work for yourself, you all work for yourselves full time, yeah? So, like, there's no safety there. Like, if you don't work, you don't eat. Like, and the worst part about everything is it's always your fault because there's no one else to blame.
Even if it's not your fault, it's always
your fault.
But that's for clients. But I mean, like, in general, if you're not working, it's your fucking fault because you got drunk or you didn't work or you couldn't be asked out of bed. So the lessons that he's learning, he might not be an agency, does he? Might be he starts a finance company. It might be that he starts a travel company, whatever. He's done something. He's taken that step outside of a job, and you're going to learn all the lessons that become with being an entrepreneur.
Don't you find it interesting though? like people who are normally entrepreneurs aren't always like the academic kids or the kids that always followed the rules. It's the opposite. It's the kids with ADHD, the kids that got expelled or excluded.
That's what we talked about earlier on the way.
We got so many people who have had
ADHD. I allegedly have ADHD. I can't say I do because it turns out you can't fly an airplane with ADHD. So I don't have ADHD. I don't have ADHD, but if I did, I'd be fucked up.
It's a good thing to,
It'd be weird.
Kind of end on.
If I didn't fly planes, I would have ADHD.
I'm learning to be a pilot, not related to what I just said about the ADHD thing.
This ain't even a marketing thing. You're actually learning to fly, right?
Yeah, so genuinely interesting story. So a few years ago, it's about 6-7 years ago now, someone said to me, what's your hobbies? And I was like, I like drinking. My friends are like, so you like drinking? Yeah, cool. And I like food. And like, so I'm a foodie. And they're like, so you eat food and drink? I was like, yeah. And they're like, you're a boring guy. And I was like, fuck, I have no hobbies anymore. When I was a kid, I was in scouts, fucking male choir, fucking Latin ballroom dancing. I was done. I was not. I was getting banned. I was getting beaten up by everyone for everything.
Scouts.
Yeah, I was putting to all the hobbies that you get bullied for. The scout that dances and sings, twat him. Literally. I was like, Mum, fucking at least give me a chance
next time. Where was your scouts hut? Next door.
That's
really
what the
hot
sauna
thing where everyone's
is.
got a dick out. It was a weird scout session.
That's why you were getting molested on MSN, isn't it?
Right, we've got more things to cut out now, guys. More dick
giving Lee more work.
But yeah, so anyway, 6 years ago, I started picking random things and learning them. So I'm currently learning to, I learned ice skate. I'm playing ice hockey. I've learned guitar. I've been still doing that. My hands are all fucked up now. I started learning to fly because I wanted to be a pilot as a kid, and I thought, why wait? Fuck it. Don't need to wait till I got money. Just start with no money. Turns out you should probably wait till you got money because it's just, I'm halfway through, but
how much is
sucks.
a lesson?
It's like $250 a lesson.
Really?
Yeah, and for an hour.
How long's a lesson at about an hour?
2,500 to 150 £250.
250.
Oh.
I would fucking cry if someone tried to charge me.
How many lessons you need before you
you need 45 hours. You need to do 9 exams. I've done 5 exams. I've done 18 hours.
What's the maths with that?
How much? 4 exams. I got 100%.
I
ain't got 100% in fucking anything in my life.
So how much does it actually cost to get your pilot
in total,
license?
about 15 grand.
What are you flying?
I fly a Cessna, but I was flying a Robin. But I'm actually changing to something called a pipe. You don't know this.
I don't know what the fuck.
No, but Lee's going to get the images up. When you say it, Lee's going to put the images of what these planes are.
A Cessna, and then a Piper, and then
what is that, like
mermaid with seashell titties.
What type of plane is that? Like, is it a small plane on your own?
A small aircraft.
So you've flown on your own yet?
Not on my own yet, but I can now because I passed my written exams.
Sick.
The thing is, you should like. I know, like people say, you learn stuff. Like, I've got a motorcycle license. That was nothing I learned. So like I'm a biker.
You just do it all at once.
Yeah. I like riding motorcycle. I like being that guy. I'm not the guy. Like I'm not the guy who fixes stuff. I take it to the man. And I'm like, man, please fix this. And he's like, you're such a fanny. And I'm like, it turns out I've just not turned a switch on. That's how much of a
office
like
princess.
I am not. Yeah, I'm just a fair weather fairy. They call it motorcycles. With planes, I'm the same. I can't fix it. I don't know how it works, but I just get it. I want to fly it. And it's like, if anyone's gonna die in a plane, like it'd be this guy because it'll all go wrong, and I'll just go, oh no, and then like. You just see me on the Sky News.
That's like that's your next stunt, right? Man goes missing.
Just but I love like learning stuff. Like I love pick a random hobby. Like I tried doing stand-up comedy once. That was fucking rough.
How did that go?
No, you want to get rejected in real life? Do stand-up comedy at like a one where they do the gong where they can boo you off stage. I've seen like Kevin Hart and stuff like that live, but like Ricky Gervais live is the funny. I swear they cut all the bad stuff out though.
Yeah.
Like, they make him look normal on TV. Yeah, he's so funny.
He is.
Right, for the viewers listening on YouTube, we're going to put your Instagram tag so they can find you. But for the Spotify and Apple Music, Apple Podcast, how can they find you?
What's your biggest platforms? TikTok and LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, well, look, if you just Google Lewis Ellis, Lewis, ELLIS, all of my socials.
Come up asking,
you go straight for the Google.
If you just search my name, you'll find all my socials. I get like a little thingy. It's called a Google knowledge box. I got my own knowledge box.
Oh, wow.
You're on Wiki.
It's like a Wikipedia.
Yes,
you're on Wiki.
Someone put me on Wiki. I was so proud of that.
You put you on Wiki.
No. Someone put me on Wiki, yeah, and then someone took me off Wiki.
So it's one thing to end the show on. Like, what if you've got like a budding entrepreneur out there? What would you say to them? One bit of life advice for them.
I'll say what I'm doing now is as I think you should, like, if you're a budding entrepreneur, you want to help, you want to grow, you want to be someone. Don't focus on what you can get out of the world. Focus on what you can give back. I know it sounds really cliche and cheesy. The more you give, the more you get. Like I've done, like I said, multiple talks last week. I'm doing multiple talks next week and this week. And the more I give, the more I get.
Shows me the little bit.
He's fucked now. He's like
too many beers, man.
I'm talking about like good karma.
He's just talking about schools, and you're sitting there like,
and he's giggling.
To
be fair, even I'm tipsy now. Like this was a stupid idea.
It's like,
I think this is either going to go really good or really bad.
Yeah, but it seems like it's normal now. Imagine watching this shit back tomorrow, and you'd be like, "Oh,
this is very disruptive to our brand." I must say,
disruptive marketing.
It wasn't my fucking idea. This was my idea.
Really sorry for interrupting you. What were you going to?
What were you saying? Sorry.
Motivational then as well.
Why was he laughing?
He's ruined.
Why were you laughing?
He's ruined the band.
We have to go back. What were you saying? Sorry.
Gay village and that.
Wait, show opposite.
Right, just to clarify, he said the more you give, the more you get, and we're in the gay village, and that's why he's laughing.
Joe is official.
Thank you very much.
And that is the end.
Lee, you might have to cut this bit out.